video, I explained what sequencing risk is. That is the effect that stock market crashes can have in the early years of retirement if you haven't built up enough of a pension fund and you're drawing out money as the market crashes. It can mean the value of your pension fund gets eroded quicker, meaning that you have less security and freedom to do the things you want to do throughout retirement. I'm Andrew Neligan, and in this video, I'm going to explain some of the strategies you can employ to minimize the effect of market crashes on your pensions and other investments that you have during retirement to give you as much financial security and freedom as possible. So one of the first and perhaps most important strategies you can employ is to build up more of a cash buffer. Now, depending on how close to retirement you are, that might be easier or not to do. But if you have cash available to you when you start retirement and you lose that regular income from salary or other income sources, you can draw from the savings in the first few years, which means that the value of your pension fund can either continue to grow if markets are kind, or if they are if you happen to have a market crash at the point of retirement, you're not exacerbating those losses by drawing from your pension fund. You're going to cash, which is secure and safe. It's not going to fall in value, not in real terms anyway. And therefore, when either markets recover, you can draw from your pension fund at that point, or if they continue to grow, once your cash has got to a lower level, then you might start to draw on the pension fund in a sustainable way. Now, how much you have in cash is up to you, but a rule of thumb would be at least 1 year, maybe 2 to 3 years to give you that extra buffer. Another strategy that you could employ, and you may need to employ anyway, is just to be open to being flexible with the income that you take from it. So if you go through a market crash and the value of fund is depleted, you may have to accept in that year or also the subsequent year, you draw less from it. You adjust your lifestyle slightly so that the fund can recover to give you more longevity to that pension. So it might be that you don't have a holiday or any large expenses in the year of or following a market crash. You might also think about changing the risk that you're taking with your pension fund as you go through retirement. So you start to take less risk, so the effect of market crashes are less and less as you get older. Naturally, our risk profiles decline somewhat as we get older anyway, but that does come with a caveat, because if we keep our fund invested and we take too little risk, the effect of our withdrawals and the effect of inflation means that the purchasing power of our pension fund will erode over time as we're taking money out. So you've got to find that balance of taking enough risk to let the fund support withdrawals for long enough, but not too much so that market crashes will have an outsized effect, particularly when you're taking those withdrawals. And another approach that not enough people probably consider, but is a really important one, is thinking about converting pensions to guaranteed income sources. And that would be for an annuity. Now, an annuity is a bit of a dirty word for a lot of people, and they see it just as a risk of losing all the capital you've built up in your fund. But as I'm going to demonstrate now, it's a very sensible way of giving you more security in retirement. Now, you could use the whole of your pension fund to convert it to an income, or you could use just some of it, perhaps, for example, to provide you enough to meet your essential costs, and you keep the rest invest in drawdown. So you've got the ability to grow some of your pension fund, possibly for the benefit of your children or other family members as you see fit. But because what a lot of people, the view they take is they're too worried about not being able to pass money on to their children on their death if they convert their pension to annuity. But what they don't consider is it might run out of money if they keep it invested anyway. So going back to the modelling software, what I've done here is looked at Tim and Tina test. If you didn't watch the last video, do go back to it. And what I've done with this is said, so at the point of retirement, Tim is going to convert his pension fund. He's got a £500,000 pension fund, and he's going to convert it into annuity. He's going to take 25% of the tax-free lump sum, and the rest will be an annuity, which will include an income for Tina if she survives Tim for the rest of her life as well. So whatever Tim receives, Tina will get in the event of his death. And based on current annuity rates available for their age, it worked out at about 4.3%. I should also say it's an income that will increase by 3% a year in retirement. So they've got some inflation protection there as well. So now when we look at it, and if you saw the last video, you'll remember that the pension fund had run out in the early 90s with that sequencing risk. Now when we look at it, you can see that there's comfortably enough money. There's no red, which means there's no year in which Tim and Tina can't meet their lifestyle costs. This blue spike here is the conversion of the pension to the annuity. So you can see annuity purchase here. And what we've got coming in is the tax-free lump sum and then the income payments, which continue and rise by 3% a year. And so when we look at what it means for the value of the assets, you can see the pension, the green, is converted immediately into an income, so that's lost as an asset. But the tax-free lump sum and the premium bonds continue for as long as Tim and Tina live. And so there's potential for an inheritance there. So it's just to show that an annuity is a way of creating security and comfort in retirement and removing entirely or partially the stock market risk. Annuities aren't right for everyone, but I wouldn't dismiss them out of hand just because in your mind you see annuities as bad value. They can be very good for the good value for the right people at the right time for the right reason. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click on the thumbs up button. If you've got views, opinions, experiences that you want to share, please do leave them in the comments section. If you want to receive more videos like this as and when I produce them, please do subscribe. And if you want to know more about how I help my clients plan and live their ideal retirement free of money worries, please go to neliganfinancial.co.uk. In the meantime, thanks for watching.